Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fall 2022 Playoffs Week 2. My name's Joe, and I'm joined by John. We've got a big Grandmaster matchup here. Rui Fang Lee from UT Austin against Harshit Raja from Mizzou. We said that Rui Fang was the favorite. They just started their game. John, what do you notice so far about the game?
I think the big difference in the position between the two players is that black is castled and white is not. But it looks like they're setting up for a potential opposite sides castling situation. So this may favor white in terms of being able to get started on the attack early, as we hear is here as we do see Rui Fang play B4 and followed pretty quickly, I imagine, by an A4 at some point as well. And so definitely some fireworks early in this game, and I'm really looking forward to see uh, what these players can show of their skills in these sharp positions.
So I noticed you mentioned Rui Fang not having castled, um, but I do see, even though Raja's castled, this B4 A4 queenside expansion for white can be kind of nerve wracking if you're in Raja's shoes. How do you parry these attacks? Is it normally like some sort of defense, or is it by like counter play, like counter activity? Is white gonna run out of steam? What's going on here?
Usually, if someone is like pressing you or getting aggressive and you have to get like super defensive, it's not a good sign. Typically, the way that you want to meet an attack, especially one where it's not like on the same side of the board, is you want to attack the opposite place of where they are. So that's why black struck in the center with d5, trying to open it up because white's king is still in the center, which makes some sense. As well as we see this sort of piece configuration for white on the king side with the knight on f3 and the pawn on h3 sort of serves as an anchor for a g5 g4 push, sort of allowing black again to try to get some access to white's king. We did see Raja play a5, and not allowing white to play a5 themselves. B5 is the most logical response, and then we see knight a7 by black, which is pretty nice here. Um, just because for black, black's already castled and put his king on b8. So the knight on a7 isn't bad. It's going to serve as a good defender of the king, especially if it can reroute to the c8 square that was vacated by the king just a few moves ago. So, so far, I think both players, you could say, holding serve. And it'll be, I feel like black is actually very solid here. I really like black's position quite a bit. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how Refang maybe tries to break through here.
Yeah, I do like this A5 idea, like you mentioned, just preventing white from playing it. And the whole reason why you don't want white to play that is because that's really going to help Rui Fang open up on the queen side. Whereas black, having played A5, this gives Rui Fang an option essentially between taking on A5 or pushing for B5. Now, there's some drawbacks. I would say that taking on A5, you activate their dark square bishop, right? C3 is kind of a weak point right now. But if you push, you're grabbing more space. However, you're keeping things closed, which is kind of what Raja wants, right? That's really going to prevent white's pieces from infiltrating, right? Like there's space with the pawns grabbed, but the pawns are kind of in the way in a sense. So Raja, like you said, has done a good job of mitigating Rui Feng's attack, and now Rui Feng has decided to finally castle, and maybe this gives Black a chance to start an attack of their own.
Yeah, I would imagine we potentially could see G5 maybe coming at some point, we do have to be a little bit worried about some of the squares vacated with the pawns on h6 and g5. All of a sudden, black's light squares on the king side become very weak, so we might need to not be so maybe be a little bit more calculated with how we go about trying to opening up the king side. But in general, it seems like that's gonna be Black's idea, and it looks like Raja did just decide here that um, you know what, I have no problem with any like weaknesses on the king side. I'm just gonna go for it, and so now it's White's turn after Black launches the attack to go ahead and strike in the center. So now we see some serious pawn tension here. All the pawns on d5, e5, e4, and d4 all are attacking each other. And we could see some very interesting clarification here soon um, that's going to sort of help define where this game is going to go.
Yeah, not always do you see this incredible pawn tension with all four pawns in the center. That makes things complicated on how to trade, right? Like there's so many options. And would you say that those options favor white and that they have more pieces in the center? Or do you think it's more so like still up in the air?
I think it's still pretty up in the air. I wouldn't say that one side has a particular um, like pawn structure advantage here, which is usually one thing that um, sort of becomes a bigger deal the more pieces get exchanged. However, the one thing I will say is that this bishop on d4 does pin the knight on f6 to the rook on h8, which means that black is going to be the one, as they just did, to have to take on d4. So maybe a little bit better for white, but in general, again, I think black's pieces have nice natural squares that they can develop to. The king is safe. Their pawn structure is good. I wouldn't even be very surprised to see black just take on e4 here and sort of go like into an end game. The d6 square is a beautiful square for the knight. The bishop on d7 controls, even though the knight on d4 looks good, sort of all the entry squares for that knight, and both of black's rooks are now on open files. So, yeah, I think just a decent position for both sides, but very, very equal, which I guess you could say is a win for black in this opening.
Yeah, that's a good point. White definitely is controlling the center, both knights on the central squares, but black is doing really well. I like that you mentioned both rooks on E and D. What's interesting is that they brought the rook from the H file over to E8 when you could also see a point in leaving the rooks on the king side and using them to support the H and G pawns, but Raja instead is opting to um, contest the center, which I think is really smart, right? Like black doesn't necessarily have the same kind of center control as white in terms of like putting pieces there, but what white um, is having to deal with now is to recapture. So black's pieces, like you said, are really well placed. Even though they're not in the center, they still control the center, especially the rooks. So right now, white has to decide like, how do I take back, with the bishop or with the queen? And if you take with the queen, obviously that's going to offer some queen trades. It also potentially puts you into some discoveries with like queen to c5 or something like that. So if you take with the bishop, then maybe the bishop can get attacked, because currently the bishop wouldn't be pinned because the queen on e2 is defended twice, but I could see some problems arise.
Yeah. No, I think it's very sensible here from Raja. Although I was wondering if instead of taking on e4, knight d5 was possible. I thought it was interesting just because it kind of eyeballs the pawn on c3, but also the knight going to this f4 square with tempo. It's sort of a forward aggressive position for the knight, defended by the g pawn, and also kind of hints at these h3 and g2 pawns. But Black decided not to go that route. Instead, we see the exchange on e4. Like you said, the bishop took back on e4 instead of the queen. And then also, as you mentioned, queen c5, hitting this backwards, somewhat weak c pawn. Then black comes with knight d6. I mean, we knew that was coming. It's an incredible square for the knight. It's on a dark square, so it can't be attacked by the bishop. It's protected by a pawn. It's centralized. It attacks the bishop on e4. It defends the pawn on b7. It controls the square in front of the weak c3 pawn. Um, it also controls f5, so there's no entry to that square for any of white's pieces. Both the knight and the bishop could have potentially gone there. So knight d6 is one of those extreme. Oh, also it defends the f7 pawn, which is attacked by the queen. So it's like there are probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 very important squares for black to either defend or maintain control of in this position. And that one move, knight d6, defends all of them. Incredible, incredible piece, incredibly satisfying move when you get to make a move like that.
Yeah, it's the classic octopus knight. Just every square is important. And
Exactly.
now we see bishop to d5, and that kind of blocks the queen. It also puts more pressure on f7, although I don't think that you would dare to take it, because maybe rook f8, you can get yourself into some pins.
Um, what I'm wondering here is if black can maybe take on e1 and go like queen a3 and see maybe if they can get access to the a4 pawn. It's definitely double edge. It's very, very risky, but should black want to try to play for a win, it is a potential idea. But instead, we see black go with just an expansion f5. Again, another just illustration of how useful the knight is on d6, defending that pawn and allowing it to advance forward. Um, white maybe has to be a little bit careful here. G4 could potentially be a very serious threat to have to try to meet. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe white try to slide their queen sort of out of the way if possible. Hmm, well, I guess queen d3 isn't even a move. I was thinking there's knight c6 check, but you can always take with a bishop or a pawn on c6. So
Well, yeah.
instead, we see knight b3, an exchange on e1, and again queen a3 here for black, so their queen isn't forced backward.
Mm.
Um, I
Knight
was
takes
thinking
a5.
maybe b6, but
Well, now
instead it's
b7 is hanging, so
no, it is not.
it's not.
Uh, it is. I lied. The queen's on f3, but maybe g4 here for black. No,
Hmm. That was a good point.
you could take
Knight
and play queen f6
takes
though. Ooh, all of a sudden, just like we said before with queen a3, it does get double edged. I don't know how much
g4.
I love this.
Yeah, after g4, what do we do? We take, they take.
And then queen f6, I think, is the idea. But now I feel like this was not it for black.
Uh,
Because before he had like a solid happy position, the knight was good on um like really strong on d6. And now like all the pawns in front of black's king are gone, which means that black is going to be the one with a permanent king weakness. And also, it looks like white is going to be able to exchange that incredibly strong knight on d6. So, a really nice maneuver from Rui Feng here to significantly improve his winning chances. Rook a1 already is looking extremely
well,
potent.
the bishop was under attack.
Ah, right, right, right.
So
But even
first
still, like
saving the but
here,
yeah,
for
no,
example,
I
right?
agree. Yeah. Bishop d5,
Um,
just a central square. You're also preparing for c4.
Now all of Black's pieces feel passive or misplaced. I mean, what do you have to do here? Like C6, I guess. I don't know.
C6 feels like a sensible move, right? You're just closing off the main diagonal that currently white is absolutely dominating with both queen and bishop on a battery. The problem with c6 is that again you're pushing a pawn from your king that's already exposed, and you're taking away that diagonal from your bishop, but your bishop's not really getting there anyways. Maybe like bishop c8, but I'm not sure. Yeah, this also maybe there's like queen g3 checks along the
Hmm.
line, potentially. And like if black ever does play for g4, which is very sensible and natural, then queen f4 check also isn't now a move.
Yeah, that is one of the drawbacks of C6. It kind of freezes Black's kingside pawns. But I feel like that the Black King, it just needed breathing room. It was getting suffocated. It needed a way. It was not going to find any kind of home on the B or the um, A file. And you don't really want to be on C8 because it's like a light square and it still feels kind of trapped. So now, at least with the pawn on C7, there is some breathing room. Again, like you said, has to be very careful, especially with checks along the diagonal. I think that's why we kind of see one reason Black moving their queen to a dark square just helps control the dark squares, helps control squares like a7 or a potential like queen d6 check block. The rook can't go to e7 now because the queen controls that square. So um, yeah, I mean, still incredibly difficult here for Black, but at least there is um, a little bit more breathing room than they had maybe a few moves ago.
So queen to c5, and Rui opts for queen h5, attacking the h6 pawn. Um, I was looking at rook b1 check. Obviously, the king moves, and like you said, c7 is now a freed up square for this king to have some breathing room. But again, this c6 pawn push also allows, like I mentioned, the queen g3 check. And in that line, what's really interesting is that black would have to block with the f pawn, because if they move the king, then either rook or queen to b8 is checkmate. And if they block with the
Mhm.
queen on d6, then white has this really nice tactic, rook b7 check, removing the defender, the king of the queen. So
Right.
I thought that was kind of interesting. Obviously, black has this f4 resource, so it wasn't quite working out. Um, but Rui opts not for rook b1 check. Says, I like your king on b8. I think it's more exposed there, so I'm not going to let your king get out, and potentially allow like black to untangle a little bit, like rook b8 could be helpful there. Instead goes for the h pawn. So the queen finds her way to f6. This is a defensive move, and then puts a little bit of pressure on the bishop on f7. So we see the bishop drop back,
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say it was a little bit of a weird position there for white with the bishop. Just not, it doesn't feel like there was ever really any kind of particularly comfortable square to put it on. So it goes all the way back to a2, which okay, I guess is fine, but at the same time um as white, you have to feel a little bit disappointed that it felt like you had somewhat of a bind there, and now black is finding ways to untangle here. Like the king's not under nearly as much duress. Black is immediately threatening to trade rooks. Black is also threatening to take the pawn on c3. And I think if the rooks get traded, that would be amazing for Black. Black wants to trade the rooks because they have the weaker king, And when you have a weaker king, in general, what you want to do is you want to exchange more pieces and try to get to an end game where your king is going to be under less direct pressure and can be a more useful, like active piece. That's why white opts to go rook c1. Not only avoids trading rooks and preserves winning chances, but also defends the pawn on c3. But again, that allowed black to play a move like f4, which is going to give them the ability to sort of expand and start creating threats of their own. Queen b2, a very nice move, though, threatening rook b1, so we see bishop f5 defending b1. Queen a3, and here come the threat of checks, which
And,
is going to get very difficult to deal with. I imagine rook d6 is a decent move here.
and Raja has no time.
Yeah.
Oof. And I love bishop c4, not giving checks, just improving your pieces and keeping the threats alive. This is sometimes more difficult to deal with in time pressure.
Interesting, queen a8.
A potential draw offer here.
Yeah, might just see the repetition. I don't see any reason for black not to immediately take that. His king is way worse. He's downtime. I mean, that was well defended by Raja. I gotta give a lot of credit where it's due there. I think, again, in kind of the late middle game, he let it slip. I felt like he had a much more equal position and let white create a ton of pressure for basically no reason. But after that, still remained solid and was able to like bring it back and still hold the draw.
Yeah, it's interesting. Roofing decided not to play on there. Maybe not too comfortable in the time pressure, although, you know, they were technically up in time as well as the safer king, like you mentioned. So now Roofing has the black pieces, and this is going to give Raja a fantastic opportunity to pull off an upset win here.
Yeah, I mean, holding a holding a draw with black in the first game just feels amazing because now you're basically just free rolling as white in the second game, and we see Rui Fang definitely playing for a win here, going for a more modern style. Something interesting that I noticed in the Chess.com Global Championship was that when players needed a win, when it was a must-win situation, and they were playing black, very, very often they were opting for these modern. So d6, g6, bishop g7, knight c6, pawn c6, knight f6. Um, I think it's because these lines tend to be less theoretical, and you can kind of force sort of these closed center positions where you're able to create some dynamic kind of imbalances in the middle game. And I think Raja's being pretty smart about it, just kind of controlling the center, bringing his knights out, getting the queen bishop battery, centralizing his pieces, because I don't think, again, as white, that he needs to like do anything crazy here. Like this is one of those where um there's that common sports analogy that's like take what the defense gives you. Black is definitely on the defense here and is giving up a ton of space, and that's all like Raja needs to do. I don't think white needs to really try to like strike here or be over aggressive. I think that would be the biggest mistake that Raja could make.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And Roofing's setting up super passively. Is this a hippo? No. It's
It's kind of
similar,
the same style,
like
yeah.
hippo-esque, right?
Like b6, g6, e6, d6, a6, h6, yeah.
Look at this. Yeah, and haven't I feel like we've seen Roofing play like this before.
Yeah.
Uh somewhat of his style. But yeah, it looks like he's gonna fiend cut out both bishops. A lot of times I know the knights go to d7 and e7 instead. So I don't know much like hippo theory. I think Hess plays a lot of hippo. And there's like this crazy opening line that's like it's called like the pterodactyl or something. You know what I'm talking about? Have you heard of that?
I've heard of the pterodactyl, actually. Yeah.
So, I have no idea like what that is. But I feel like that's a hippo line. This I don't think is officially the hippo, but it might as well be, to be honest.
I mean, I think it's not so much like that it's a very theoretical line. In fact, that's why people play it, is because it's exactly the opposite. It's usually when you talk about things like that or a hedgehog, it's more about just the structure, like how you develop your pieces and where do you place your pawns. And again, what players tend to like about playing openings like that is that they're just so flexible and so non-committal that it gives you the opportunity to play very reactive and adjust like your pawn structure. For example, there, like black taking on e5 was not forced, but clearly like Rui Feng, the type of game he wants to play, he's like, okay, yeah, I want to take here. I want to like open this center. I want to have this slightly imbalanced structure where they have a D pawn, I have an E pawn, right? Um, and that's due to maybe because like white castled kingside early and black hasn't committed to castling yet, and other factors like that. So, it's pretty smart, but again, I still think Raja is taking a very principled approach here. Just like developing all his pieces, getting castled, bringing rooks to the center, striking in the center with e5 and continuing to gain space, like not doing anything too like out of this world. No like crazy G4 or anything here, for example,
Hmm.
right? Or unnecessarily like trying to open the center too early. So, um, yeah, I think the most interesting option here is knight takes e3 for black. You just get the bishop pair, right? And
Yeah.
then you kind of see, okay, well, where does white go from here? But Rui Feng just opts to castle, and I think white's just a little bit better here, a little bit more space, um, kind of more fully developed. But yeah, still anyone's game for sure.
What's interesting, another option or reason perhaps why Roofing went for this is because it's fairly simple to play, right? You just develop, you
Hmm.
put all the pawns on the sixth rank at any time. Um, white expands, like you either trade or you push. But here it looks like Roofing has gotten out of the opening and is way up on the clock. Raja, meanwhile, maybe not as familiar with this opening or how to really like crack the defense, um, and is at only 5.5 minutes. And I feel like Rui Feng is more or less playing for a draw here, just to reset the match and go to tiebreak in the blitz time control. You get white back as well, and he definitely had the advantage in the last game with white. Um, but maybe if Raja gets into enough time pressure, Rui Feng can then really strike. And we do see this knight taking on e3. So Rui Feng has the bishop, a fianchetto bishop, and now has played c5. This is like Rui Feng's real first, I guess, aggressive move, right? Like trying to initiate something in the center. Now that
I
they're
think
out of the
this
opening.
I think this is a good example of what I was talking about, right? Like where Rui Fang decides to take the bishop on e3, and white makes the very committal decision of taking with the f pawn. But because, again, black's structure was so flexible, it allows black to play c5, right? And now white is left with this isolated e pawn, and black has a bishop, which could be very useful in the endgame. I might take on d1 here and go knight e4, for example.
I love that.
Um,
Yeah.
so I thought what you mentioned too was also very interesting about the like gaining the time advantage because Um, what's so interesting is that in a lot of these modern type openings, you kind of have to be very careful about not being too committal, about figuring out where you gonna where um like your almost like your piece schema in terms of where ultimately do I want my pieces to end up? What ultimately do I want them to end up doing? And as black, since you're playing reactive, you don't have to ask yourself those questions. Not until white literally poses them to you, but the onus is on white to figure those things out first, which is why, kind of as you mentioned, it takes more time and why like Rui Fang is up, like almost has 2 times as much time as Raja here, and now has the ability to spend that extra time in arguably the most important stage of the game, especially at this point in this particular game, the end game. For what it's worth, I do really like White's chances here in this end game, but you know, can't really doubt the bishop.
Yeah, I mean it's really interesting how we traded down. Both sides have an isolated pawn like you mentioned, but it feels like the e3 pawn is weaker. Um how
I
exactly?
disagree actually.
Yeah, you think well,
I think c5 and a6 are both weaker than e3.
I forgot to address the a6 is also isolated. So and looks here that white is going to get rid of this e pawn, whereas black is going to be more or less handcuffed with their pawns for the time being. So,
Not
um,
even just that either, but almost more philosophically. Also, uh, oh, sorry. But again, more philosophically, White's king was closer to defend the e3 pawn than Black's king was to defend like the c5 and a6 pawns.
that
That
makes
was
sense.
just in general why I thought like Black's were weaker.
Well,
But
now black's king is more centralized after this last trade, so knight d6 was a very sensible move.
that's very true. The question is, will Black be able to get their king in? And I think the answer is maybe. If you just go c6, b6, a5, b4,
I'm drawing that
I
out right
mean,
now.
you really don't want. I don't like what White did at all. I think that trade was terrible. Um, I mean, Black is going to get a passed pawn. Like either your knight stays on f2, you play g4 and allow f4. Okay, now we have a passed f pawn. Or um, White could have taken on f5 before, in which case you give Black a pass e pawn. Again, I'd
Well,
be shocked to see anything, literally anything. Well, maybe, just maybe you could take on g4, but allows knight g4. I'm probably playing f4, but if you could take on g4 and force pawn takes, then h5, and now you have an outside pass pawn, which is always going to be better in general in these end games, just because it's farther away.
the problem with that though is that the H pawn promotes on a light square, which is less than ideal. You want it to promote on the same square as your bishop. And just to mention, Raja has literally every pawn on a light square, which I think ultimately is a very reasonable choice when you're up against a dark squared bishop. So, um,
Mm.
yes, black does seem to have an entrance on the queen side, but it's going to take a couple moves for that to happen. And
I think the main issue here is for black is that okay, if you play f4, I play king g2 as white. And if you ever take like the 10 moves, or it's actually 3 moves, but the 3 moves to try to get your king into b4, all white has to do is play knight d3. And it's just like, no, thank you. You can't come in.
yeah, knight d3, it prevents also the king from getting to b4. And we actually see a draw offer from Roy Fang.
Which makes sense. He knows his king can't get in, but also the knight can't get in. White really has no free like flexibility here to try to do any very interesting winning maneuver simply because black has a protected passed pawn. So if you ever move your pieces like too far away, that pawn is going to um, basically start advancing. So now we see Raja offer a draw after declining it, and we'll see if Ri Feng accepts or decides to continue playing.
Either way, if we do see a draw here, then it's very likely that we're gonna get some more exciting blitz chess. So after seeing these first two games, who do you think the blitz favors?
Definitely, I think Ri Feng. I think Ri Feng has been equal or worse in both games. Like didn't really get much out of the opening with white, and then also did not get much out of the opening with black here. It was probably worse earlier on in that end game, but has kind of managed to outplay Raja anyway. And I think the fact that he continues to kind of outplay him. Okay, now this is just definitely a draw. There's literally no way in. Although
Yeah.
maybe this sometimes gives white random winning chances, but I mean I doubt it.
Hmm.
But you never know. But yeah, I think Ru Feng's ability to do that and also consistently be up on the clock as well in the match, um, definitely gives him a huge edge. It's pretty bishop on d4.
I'm wondering if there's other games that we should look at.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, I see two actually. There's Anna Maria versus NSM, and then there's also Ben Lee versus Knight 8700. uh
Which one do you want to take a look at?
I want to check on Anna Maria because we watched her games last week. Oh, she's actually up. She's up 1-0, but she's losing in this game, it seems.
Potentially getting her queen trapped.
Oh, wow. It looks like
The,
apparently Black missed some really key opportunities here.
wow, knight f5.
So it was -8.
Oh, queen takes e8.
Rook
King g1 now?
E8. Wow. Rook E8 threatening Rook A1 was the key idea that Black missed. And oh, now Anna Maria gets the exchange back. Both players under a minute. Yeah, this is definitely a much more exciting match. Oh man.
This is a wild, wild game.
Queen E8. So takes on F2. I mean, is that not the move? 10 seconds. Who
There
is
was also
NSM?
rook takes c3.
So NSM is Nitin Shankar from University of Michigan, Dearborn. And right now they're playing for their life. They have to win to force overtime. A draw or a loss here, and they're eliminated from the season.
Queen h5 and queen back to f3.
Both players at about 10
King
seconds.
g1. Yikes.
Dude, what was it? Loves the move.
Oh, not anymore. Queen e3, knight g3 is GG.
Oh, it's mate. It's mate.
Yeah, you had to go queen h5 before so that you had time to get queen f3 in.
So apparently rook e7 is a blunder, allowing queen to g6 check. Oh man.
Oh, wow, with knight f4, huh?
What a resource. And she couldn't find it in the time pressure, but holy smokes. What a move that
Wait,
would have
queen
been.
queen g6, if you go...
King g8.
Oh, is there knight f4?
There's rook a1, apparently. Apparently. And it's -0.2.
Rook a1, okay, I take on f2 check.
And then king h2, it says.
And then is it f1 knight check? Yeah, it's gotta be. What the what
Oh
the frick?
man. All right. Well, Raja and Reefing are back at it on their Blitz game. It's a sudden death match now at 5+2. Oh man. And yeah, Anna Maria and Nitin are gonna have to play a 5+2 match of their own as well. So exciting stuff.
Definitely. I'm glad we're getting some overtime here. Sad we didn't get it this morning between Grigori and Mikhail, but you know, it's okay. Because these later games they're coming through for us.
All right, so Reefing with the white pieces, 5+2, and what kind of opening do we have here? B3
Just a wild G4 on
and
move on move number 2.
So
The Nimzovich Larson attack.
it's very
Indian
interesting how
spike variation.
Indian spike, yeah. Interesting. Well, Reefing with the black pieces, ultra passive, and now with the white pieces, ultra aggressive. Don't you love that dichotomy there with the white and black pieces?
I mean, true, but it's still that same modern style. Like double fianchetto, not a ton of occupying the center, like putting the pawns on E3 and C3 and B3. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this game goes.
All right, so Reefing his castle. He brings his king out of the center, and now black trades on D4. How do you normally take back, like with the C pawn? I assume. Yeah.
Um, I don't know, honestly. I don't know why he chose to take with the C pawn, and because if you take with the E pawn, you sort of still give yourself the ability to challenge in the center at some point with like C4.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess Rufeng decides that he would rather challenge with E4,
Yeah.
which
And
does make sense.
taking with the C pawn also frees up the C3 square for his knight, which he's just played, which
Yeah, very
helps
true.
control E4 as well. Maybe even threatening knight takes D5 with E4. Who knows? Probably not.
That'd be interesting. Very interesting indeed.
Wow. So
Did we see that here?
no, Raja goes, well, he has to deal with E5. I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't there's options for sure.
Yeah, I actually really like knight takes D5 and E4 personally, but well,
I don't know if I actually like it. Like I see it, but I don't know if I like it because I feel like black can simply just sack a piece back, maybe even take on E4. Like with the knight
I
or
feel like taking on E4 is very not good because then you take and you play D5 and now you have a protected pass pawn. And the bishop on G7 is just horrible. I really liked knight takes D5 there.
Well, another thing is that you also don't have to take. You can just drop the queen back to like E6, and then white's forced to take on F5, and then like maybe knight takes is super annoying, right? Like knight takes on F5, and what's going on with your H pawn? But
Oh,
now you can take on d5 for free. So
I
just
guess you can take on d5 for free.
wait. So wait.
Asterisk with the knight takes f3 check.
So Raja plays e5, d takes e5, and I guess the move for Raja would have been bishop takes e5 because then your knight on c3 is at least pinned, right? But he
It's
takes
still
with the knight.
pinned because there's knight takes f3 check.
Well, yeah. Knight takes though does come with knight e7 check, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I did notice that. And like b7 is hanging at the end, but like your rook on a1 is hanging at the end. There's a lot going on.
yeah, that is actually kind of interesting.
But I don't think that really ever comes out in favor of white, to be honest. I don't know. Things are looking good for Raja. This is looking a little unstable for Rui Fang. I didn't like taking on e5. Still think knight takes d5 is the way to go.
Well, Rui Feng's thinking here. He's now dipping under 2 minutes. It's a complicated position.
It's huge for Raja to be up on time here.
But I feel like Rui Feng's gonna play something, and it's gonna be hard for, like, I think maybe for the next couple of moves immediately, Raja will have some sort of like quick response because I'm assuming there's gonna be some capture or some threat. Like, I don't know, is f4 even a move or not really? Oh, knight f4.
I don't think so.
He's doubling up on the d pawn.
Knight f4 makes sense because it also controls the d3 square.
I think that one.
But this does literally lose. Knight takes f3 check and bishop takes c3. Instead opts for knight c4. Oh, interesting. Very interesting indeed.
Maybe we take on d5 now. I don't
With
know.
what?
With anything.
Well, the anything is kind of important to say here.
I mean, like, what else would you do? Would you save your bishop and lose your knight?
No, I mean, I'm probably taking on d5, but the question is, like, are you taking with the queen first? Are you taking with the f knight?
So, yeah, I feel like
I like bishop takes b2 here.
Yeah, very sensible. I mean, that wins a rook, right? And then, well, there's going to be knight e7 check. Knight takes on f5. Like, and to be
Queen
clear,
takes, but then e3 is hanging at the end.
oh, damn, that could be 2 exchanges. What I'm worried about is, well, yeah, Rui Feng's like rooks, but I'm also worried that Raja doesn't have to take on a1, right? Because a lot of times giving up that fianchetto for the bishop for the rook could be a disaster, weakening your dark square. Wow, he takes with a knight. That's a curveball.
I don't understand taking with the knight at all. I mean, knight a4, but then knight takes f5 and you can't take back with a queen now. I don't get this at all. Rook e8, maybe? Does rook e8 run into knight f6 check issues? Probably not, right?
Well,
Like rook f8, knight f6 takes queen d2. It was rook d8 instead. Interesting. I don't really understand the lack of knight e7 check and taking on f5, but I guess the queen can take as the bishop defends the knight on b2, but knight d3 makes a ton of sense.
Dude, why aren't we doing knight e7
but knight d3 takes. or takes on d3, takes on d5, takes on d or queen exchange, like e4 maybe.
Oh man, this is complicated. What? I feel like
Takes on d3, takes on f5, takes on f5. Is there like rook c7 there? Is there bishop h3? Is there f4?
now
e4
e4.
now?
Yep, e4, and then what? Is there rook b5? Yeah, rook b5 looks like only move. And now you move the queen.
Now I guess when you move the queen, you just go bishop back to e6, right? a2 is bad. There's rook b2 ideas at some point.
Oh man, they're both so low on time. I really don't like White's position though, to be honest.
And I think White's position is extremely bad here. Bishop d4 check is an idea.
There goes the a pawn. But yeah, look at the difference in the king safety. Like White's pushed all these pawns. Black has the bishop pair in a completely open position. King's now in the corner. Bishop perfectly placed on d4.
Black's king is not doing great here though, and the rook on b is straight up misplaced. I would take on f5 probably and go bishop d5 if I was black.
Oh man, they're both so low.
I guess that's why he played rook d8 in case there's rook takes f5. Ooh,
Oh, bishop to e3 hitting the rook.
bishop e3 is tough.
Rook hitting the bishop. There's bishop
Rook
b3.
g2 something.
Whoa, rook b1. Wait, can we not take? Oh, but then the knight is gonna hang. So opposite color bishops. White gets a pawn back. Takes on
I guess it's just
g6.
gonna be
Is there bishop check?
equal.
Rook takes. Yeah, this could just
Taking
be another
h4.
draw.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
h4.
Which means we're gonna go to a bullet game. Unless
Is it just one? Is it
Unless.
just one blitz game, or
Yeah,
is
it's
it
one blitz. So but Raja will get white pieces.
This is getting a little bit crusty.
Yeah, hold on. Can we
though.
push the e pawn? But then there's like rook a5. What is going on? e5? Hello?
What's going on?
You could sack the bishop.
I think you
with
could just go
e6.
I think you just go
Or
e7,
bishop
f8,
e4.
e7, f8.
Okay, rook check. Bishop e4. Yeah.
h3 now.
h3, yeah. Rook h7.
h2.
e6.
Bishop d6.
Wait. Rook check, no? But then there's rook
can't.
takes e4.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. All right, it's a draw.
Yep. It is. Yes,
The
it is.
drama.
Ooh, rook.
Oh. The bishop's hit. Hold on. Hold on.
Wait, he hung h2.
Is that this? Is this still? It's White's got. Oh,
e6
he's
hangs
hanging.
that now.
What the heck? What's going on?
They're both just give it
They
away,
just- they
give it
just-
away, give it away now.
They just want to play bullet.
It's
1
interesting
+ 2.
it's interesting that this gives a automatic draw when you technically can checkmate.
With just bishops?
Yep.
Opposite color, but you could checkmate with opposite color bishops.
King on a8, king on a6, bishop on b8, bishop on e4.
It's gross. I think that might be like a difference between USCF and like FIDE rules.
I think so. I think that draw there is USCF rules. I think FIDE rules is like if you can legally set it up on the board, then like it's not over.
Crazy.
So I think on a certain website that must remain unnamed, that game would not have automatically ended.
Perhaps.
But I think, yeah, the USCF rules, which chess.com goes by, that is considered a draw because technically a lone king and bishop can't checkmate just a king by force.
Oh wow. I see a round 2 match has started between Anna Maria and another Grumpy who I believe are roommates at Webster.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. They both won their match.
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's a big match.
That'll be a
Also,
fun
we
one
got
to
this
watch.
bullet game versus Ruifeng and
I
Raja.
know. I just tuned
Raja
out for a second.
down an extreme amount of time already. Maybe kind of slowed by the blitz. E4 is hanging, I think, here. Interestingly.
Knight takes e4, but there's knight c7 check.
But then you take on D2 check.
Oh. So it's complicated. Anyways, queens are
I
traded.
think it was complicated. But instead everything gets traded
And with the 2
Black
second
should
increment,
be sorry,
like,
go ahead.
there's you were mentioning Raja's downtime, but like you can get it back so quick.
True. A7 is hanging now.
Wow.
I don't know if that's just an oversight by both players, but yeah, I think that was just a major oversight. It seems like Raja just like trusted him. He's like, oh, okay, like rook c8, that's fine.
Yeah, I think
I
sometimes
think if white takes on a7 there, though, like white's just borderline winning.
sometimes those A pawns and H pawns can feel wrong to take because you feel like it's
You feel like Bobby
poisoned,
Fischer.
or yeah, you get your piece trapped or whatever. But yeah, there was no obvious B6, right, to trap it, because there's no C7 pawn. So yeah,
I think we
A7
might
could have been.
I was gonna say, I think we might just see a quick rook f2 is maybe interesting now. Potentially very interesting.
Interestingly, Raja is actually the higher rated bullet player. So I think that overall, as far as the match goes, Raja has succeeded essentially, right? Like Ruifeng's been the favorite, and he's got it to this point where now it's truly anyone's game. And I think Raja could have asked for more other than just outright winning, which he's set himself up for here.
I mean, definitely he's playing this end game. I feel like he's outplaying Ruifeng's end game so far. Which is funny because earlier I was going to mention that, oh, you know, Sicilian, usually the end game favors black. It's like one of the reasons you play a Sicilian to begin with. King c4 is interesting here, I thought. Because pawn takes on d4, and then you win f5, but decides not to go that route. c4, don't know if I love that approach.
Can we go rook b4?
We most definitely can go
There
rook
goes
b4
the
here.
A-pawn. And now if king takes g4, there's b5. Yeah, and he's going to win another pawn. Well, the pawn back.
True, but how much does it matter when black has no passed pawns and white has one? That's also supported by a very forward advanced king.
But the
fascinating
the
here.
queenside pawns are fast, man.
That looks like a blunder from Ruifeng, straight up.
But there's only one
I think
move.
it's just GG.
Oh. King D1, he needed, there's only one move there that wins. It's King D4.
King D4, right? I don't know why he didn't play King D4. He needed that. No.
What's going on, bro?
I think black's winning now.
Black needs to play E5. Or there's probably a lot of ways to win, actually.
Yeah.
He's just faster.
He's
Dude, faster with the A-pawn.
What is Raja doing?
Just take, and now A3.
A3. It's GG.
A3 GG. Ruifeng has to find, he's got 3 seconds. 2 seconds.
He's gonna find it.
Oh my god. Wait, can you take on E6? No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You just take on G7 next. Wow.
That was terrible. How do you not play King D4 there? Oh man, King D4 felt so obvious because the only like winning chances black had was to like sack the C pawn and try to run the A pawn. King D4 forces black to take on D5, but then you have time to take because after King D4, E takes D5, King takes D5, C3, B takes C3, A4, the king is inside the square of the pawn after King C4. Which means it's going to catch it, Black has to go get the G pawn. You gobble up the A pawn and then get the D pawn, and then you just queen the C pawn very easily. And I mean, okay, like, yeah, you could like king d4, e5 check, king takes c4. Maybe it's like not so simple, but is that drawn actually?
Somehow it is.
Yeah, I guess that's why I didn't play king d4. So is it drawn after e6?
So okay, after the last rooks were traded, it's winning for black. So white could not trade rooks there. But
Wow.
black has to find the move e5. Only winning
After
move.
king e4?
Yeah. E5 is the
Yeah.
only winning move, preventing king d4.
Yeah.
And then I guess if en passant king takes, and then black can play for d5. But instead e6 was played, which is a draw after king d4. But it was missed. And
In g4, is it still a draw though?
no, after g4, it's just losing like a lot of ways.
I see. Okay.
Uh,
Which makes sense, actually. Probably e5 is the simplest of them all. Would be my guess, intuitively. Because it just doesn't
it
allow
likes
king
it
d4.
likes a4 or e5
They both
or
make sense.
king e7, or there's a lot you could do probably, but that's the
Wow.
computer's analysis. But yeah, Rui Feng ultimately gets the win and moves on to play against Oparin. So that's gonna be a big match.
That'll be crazy.
Um,
They've both been playing really well. I think Oparin's looking like he's in better shape, but I think anybody can win that match. Is that winners finals?
that will be winners finals, yes. All right, I kind of want to look at the Annas.
Yeah, let's check it out.
So Anna Maria against Anna Sargsyan, I want to say. Well, hold on. Let me double check. Yeah, Anna Sargsyan is another grumpy, and Anna Maria Marjanovic, both from Webster, both roommates, teammates, and they've both won their first matchup today, which actually is really big for both of them. But there was an upset win, I believe, with Anna Sargsyan, who took on Josiah Stearman and eliminated him. He's an international master from Mizzou. Yeah, and that means that Anna Maria beat her opponent Nitin from U Michigan in tiebreaks. So that was a close match. But yeah, this is exciting stuff. They are obviously fairly familiar with each other, as they're both teammates, so I'm sure they've played each other.
And roommates, apparently?
Yeah, they're rooming together. But all right, so Anna Maria, she's the higher seed, and so she is playing with the white pieces first here. Both sides of castle kingside. I'd say white's a little ahead in development. Black still needs to get out their light square bishop. White has a little bit more space in the center, it seems, but I feel like do you think that black would ever play like g5? Is that annoying? Maybe even like right now? Because like I want to put the knight on d3, so removing this white knight makes a lot of sense. And actually taking on e5 even makes sense. Knight to g4, threatening checkmate.
Very
in
clever. It's a very clever idea, knight g4.
Forking h2 and e5. So that's a fancy way to take back, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's not my favorite g5, I mean. I don't know how I feel about it, but I guess it's good.
g5, I mean, I guess it really made Anna Maria take on e5, which allows for black to go through this knight g4 maneuver. And
I don't know if I like 96.
96, there's bishop takes, right? I mean, you just get rid of your underdeveloped bishop. and connect your rooks. And then
I
that
mean-
pawn on e6 looks a little weak, doesn't it?
Not that weak, but I just want to play try to get f4 somehow as black. Like king h8 will be probably very reasonable. I don't know. It's not easy though for black. I mean, the one issue with g5 is that it's very weakening, and the one thing that white is succeeding in doing by playing knight e6 is you're kind of opening things up, and so like black has to be very careful here to not I think black needs to tread lightly. That's what I would say. As well, the d6 pawn, which is supporting the knight on e5, all of a sudden becomes significantly more weak. After the exchange on e6, because the rook gets access to it on the half-open file. And if black does decide to try to play like knight d3, well then all of a sudden you're dealing with f3. And you don't really have any pieces to support your pawn on e4. You could try to play d5, but conveniently white's queen is placed on b3, controlling the d5 square. It would not surprise me if we see like rook f7 here instead of bishop takes e6.
I would take on e6.
I like your conviction.
I mean, okay, take on e6, take on e6, and then like rook a to e8. Oh, are we pushing with check? Is that
I mean, there's rook f7,
rook
but
f7? Yeah. That's what's been played. Rook a e8.
yeah,
But like, how do you save the
Queen-
e pawn?
queen d5.
Queen d5. Oh, trading first. Well,
Or just rook d1, straight up here. Rook a d1. Oh no, because there's queen takes. Sorry.
they take on
Yes.
e6.
So you have to play like, I don't know, queen d5 or something.
Queen d5, and then queen takes on b7. And then yeah, maybe black's not as safe, and like white gets the outside majority. Wait. Oh, never mind. I thought the eval spiked. Nope. So we have even material. I'm loving this knight on e5. Feels strong. Dark square. Ooh, how do you feel about g4?
Probably okay.
Because I know
But
you
you're
were
closing
mentioning,
things down
yeah, you
because
liked
now,
f4, right?
well, now white has a clear plan of rook f d1 or c1 or something. Like this, I don't know.
Here, can we take?
I mean, I think you
You have to.
have to.
Takes with the g pawn. And
Yeah, like I
now-
don't like this because like our king as black is so weak.
Well, does rook d1 threaten a queen trade like queen d5? Is that
Yes, queen d5 has got to be either the move or one of the moves. Or even just rook.
rook d5?
I guess the threat here is f4. And the idea is if e takes, there's e3. You don't really want to take. But if you don't take, you allow e2. Rook c1 feels, I don't know, feels to me.
Now black can play d5. I think that makes sense, but maybe that gives up c6.
I think black should play f4.
Whoa, a6. The point is, what is the point? I don't know what the point is. What's the point of a6?
I don't know. I feel like if I'm white now, I'm ecstatic because I'm playing queen b6 and defending the e3 square, hitting d6, threatening like rook c6. I feel like a6 is a terrible move.
Wait, why do you want to defend? You said e3?
Yeah, so the idea that I kept saying is that I
F4.
thought black should play f4, and
Yeah.
after e takes f4, e3.
E3, yeah, that looks sharp. But it makes
Because
sense.
if white takes, that can't be good for.
There you have it.
Or if black takes, it can't be good
E
for white.
takes e3, and the computer wants king h2 there. So I don't think we'll see that.
I mean, of course it wants king h2 because you're threatening queen h3-ish, but
Oh, that's another reason why that's a strong move. Although there is queen f1, right?
oh, that's why a6, because there was queen g5 check.
In this line
That's
after
exactly why.
f4. Okay, that's so
That's
smart.
why a6.
That's so
That's why you
smart,
need to play
dude.
a6. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, why are we not playing f4?
Dude, these
Well,
players
that's
are
why.
like so much better than me. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're very good.
So just dude, the queen's calmly back to b5. Oh man. Dude.
Rook
So
f5 now, I guess.
I think both of these players are guaranteed to win. It's like probably close to $600 at this point. And now they have some money on the line. Do you think there's also maybe some bragging rights as their teammates, roommates, friends, enemies? I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. They're definitely not like match fixing. You know, they're not like, hey, why don't we just like split like whoever wins, like we'll just split the money. Like
Well,
they're going for blood here.
of course
This
not.
is not, yeah. King h8, what a move. King h2, what a move times 2. I'm taking on e3 here, I think. Just banging that off.
Oh my goodness. Dude, they both missed something.
What did they miss?
King
Hang on.
h2, f takes g, f takes g. There's queen a2, bro.
Oh,
So
oh my
now-
god, she had queen a2 and she just missed it.
Now they
Literally had queen a2. Wow.
So there's only two. You need to play like queen d5 or queen c4 here. It's great. We were just complimenting how good they are. They're not throwing or anything. Oh boy. No, this is crazy now.
Totally missed just queen a2.
Okay,
That's
queen d5
so
play.
unlucky, dude. If black loses this game, that's gonna be so sad.
Maybe they saw it at the same time afterwards. They were like, "What the heck? What are we doing?"
Okay. Imagine this. Queen g4.
Hey, Jeffrey Shang with the follow. Thank you. How's
Okay,
the SEC going? He's streaming right now. Is he listening to the stream on his stream?
Who knows? The man's a super GM, so he has untold talents. But yeah, queen g4 here, no?
Yeah, I mean, white looks so like not safe.
So does black.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
black. I
queen
mean,
d4 check is
there's
gonna be
checks.
incredibly annoying too.
Here we have to play like rook f1. No,
I guess we're just going into this rook ending.
rook here. I mean, g3 is hanging. What, rook g5? Is that a move? Probably
Rook
not.
g5 is definitely a move.
Ooh, it definitely is. You know
Is it
what's
a good move?
definitely not a move?
I don't know.
Probably king g2. Maybe
King
it is.
g2 seems bad. I'm gonna say that much.
I agree with that. Somehow the top recommended move is a4. rook back. I don't know, dude. These rook and pawn games is probably just a draw. Although Anna Maria is a ton of time.
You know, do you remember what I used to say in the CECL about rook endings? It was the place where you could score the most points. That's what I used to say about these rook endings.
If you like studied the
Yes,
these players are
because
pros though.
nobody, they don't know.
Dude. Nobody knows.
Speaking of Jeffrey, I was watching him stream the other day, and he made some just mind-bogglingly like horrible decisions in a rook end game that were just like, Jeffrey, what are you doing, man? What are you doing, my dude? Okay, I think you can check. When the king goes to h5, I think you can go rook f5, takes on h4, and then
You lost me. You lost me after check.
okay, like rook d8. You know, eventually the king's gonna have to come to h5,
Okay.
and then you go rook f5 check.
Mm-hmm.
King takes h4, rook h6 check, king g4 takes h1, takes f5.
Or you could do this, threatening checkmate. But then
I
black
don't know
trades
about
rooks.
this. What? I don't think this
Wait,
is a trade of rooks. Rook h3 is GG.
you needed rook d2 there,
Yeah.
and she missed it. Wow, that was too simple. Well, another grumpy missed queen a2 check, but ended up winning anyways, so
What did I tell you about the rook endings, Joe? They're never drawn.
never drawn true.
Especially not when the kings are
She
weak like
missed rook
that.
d2. How do you miss rook d2? Or the rook, she missed rook what was it, h3 check?
I feel like the real pro move was just to go check. This rook
Just
f7
check
tried to
it.
get too fancy. Just check,
Well,
check.
I wanted
Trade
to
rook
put
and then draw.
I wanted to put the other rook, like rook f7. Threaten checkmate that way. But oh well. All right, we have an Italian, our favorite, my favorite, Joko Piano. And now
Yeah, you love playing the fried liver, right?
that's my only opening that I know. No. All right, we see another knight bd2, castles h3 here. Interesting.
3, huh?
So Anna Maria now in a must-win situation. She's got the season on the line. Another grumpy only needs a draw. And she's got the white pieces. So yeah, win with black in game 1. Huge advantage. Right? You know, you got the confidence. Like, you know you can't lose immediately. Like, you at least have tiebreakers.
And I feel like these days, in the past few years, the Italian is like the new Catalan in terms of like if you play into like the main lines as black, like you just never win. You lose a lot of the time and draw some of the time. So to be totally honest, I'm not loving black's chances here.
All right. So let me look at the bracket. I want to see who's going to move on and who they would play against.
All right. I think it's a good time for an update. This opening is a little bit of a snoozer.
You want to
The
look at another
schnauzer.
game? There's Chris Repka actually versus Knight 8700. That's the other half of this lower bracket. Wow, Papa Pizza actually lost to Knight 8700, huh? So, yeah, this national master I believe is Ivan Key from UC Santa Barbara. he beat Maxime Yaskolka, who's the ambassador from Yale, and now he beat Ben Lee, who's from University of Michigan. So both Michigan players have been eliminated, but that's actually a really big upset for Ivan here.
Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to get the repeat performance against the Bubachik.
Yeah, that was a number 10 seed taking on the number 4 seed. So Papa Pizza, Ben Lee from University of Michigan, he was streaming over at Papa Pizza Chess. He unfortunately comes to an early end to his season. He did win, I believe, $500, so there's that. But Knight 8700 moves on to face the incredible Bubachik, another one of these grandmasters from Mizzou. And
Another one.
yeah, the winner of this match will move on to play against Antipov.
In loser semis?
Yes, exactly. Which will be played today. So if you're coming from the losers bracket, you've got a lot of chess to be played.
Very true. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this incredible Bubachik game is less interesting than the Anna Maria one. Especially because holy, look at this game. Go back to the Anna Maria one. Good luck getting castled white anytime soon.
So the Italian that, wow, Knight D4. Do you see that? How often do you see that move? Knight D4, pawn takes, bishop takes, so that wins the bishop pair. And now it takes on E5, allowing bishop to B5, intermezzo. So Anna Maria is coming out swinging. She wants this point back. She wants to force tie breaks. And like you said, white's king caught in the middle of the board. A4 forces the bishop off the diagonal. I mean, maybe
these bishops are still very strong though, and that pawn on A4 is like not great for now.
Can we castle now?
I think you can. Yeah.
And then you lose the e pawn, but that's okay. Or is it okay? I don't know. Do we want to save that pawn? Do we go queen f4?
Queen f4 here?
Yeah. That was played.
Bruh, that feels so
now, yeah,
suspect.
like bishop a5 check, right? Queen d2. Or dude, the computer wants king e2 there.
Really? After bishop a5 check?
Yeah.
I was thinking something even. Oh no, that's not good. Yeah, bishop a5. Let's go.
Oh, knight here,
no.
and now I mean,
It's gotta be
obviously knight d3 is the threat. So yeah, castle, knight d3 probably anyways. And then what?
And then I think it's a roundabout way of taking on e5. Man, bishop a5 I think was a huge opportunity though. Missed.
I'm really surprised it wasn't played, to be honest. Right?
I think the idea is that after bishop a5, bishop d2, you have knight takes e5. Because if you take on a5, there's knight d3 check, winning the queen on
Wait,
f4.
but isn't the bishop hanging on a5?
There's knight d3 check.
Oh, true. Fancy. But alas, we missed it. It was not played. How do you feel about the player's flair?
What?
The flair, you know, on chess.com, you can add flair to your profile. Little icon next to your flag.
You know, it's interesting. I think I used to have the unicorn at one point.
Let's go. Well, we've got the unicorn versus the pink diamond here. But yeah, the pink diamond very fitting, you know, for VIP and Twitch chat. I think another Grumpy followed the channel last week. So maybe if they win the finals, we can give them a VIP badge. Should we toss that in as a D1 prize?
I feel like it should just be a like thing that you do. Period.
Just
Period.
for the
You
fall
know.
individual. I feel like we might not be going back to an individuals format anytime soon. Um,
Really.
yeah, I think
I kind of like it though.
our team format is just, I think, way more.
It's pretty hype.
It's hype, but it's also like bigger.
Yeah.
Um, you allow a lot more flexibility for teams to register as opposed to individuals, right? Like, um,
Right.
just one perfect example today, the SEC is happening. If this was a team format, your team could still play and you could play in the SEC. Obviously, there's
Mhm.
a risk, right? If your team loses, you're out and you don't get to play next week. But if your team's like good enough or you have enough players, you allow at least for more flexibility, right? Whereas like if
Right.
you were forced as an individual to choose one or the other, it's like you just can't play it in both. You either have to try your best to reschedule, which isn't always permitting, or you just have to forfeit something, which is really tough.
Yep.
And we even saw that
Most-
earlier in the year with Ri Fang, who had to choose between playing in this versus playing in the U.S. Championship, right?
Yeah. What a
So
choice.
I know it was a very tough decision at the end of the day, and we respect his decision. But ultimately, I think that the fall individuals format is just not as receptive to players' schedules. But nonetheless, we do have ourselves an interesting format. We've gotten to the second week of the playoffs here, and we're just getting some exciting chess from these players. So
Most
uh,
definitely.
I love White's position. Like,
I was gonna say it feels like white is dominating now.
yeah, black takes on a4, so restores the material imbalance. But I kind of liked the dark square bishop. I don't know if I feel like I would have traded it. Because like the
I
key.
think when you go this way, what happens is that you sort of take any teeth out of a potential counterattack from black. Like black's dark square bishop was probably black's best piece. And
Yeah,
now it's gone, and now you never have to deal with like facing against the bishop pair. Like usually you really want to trade at least one pair of bishops when your opponent has the bishop pair.
but would you have taken with the with the pawn triple
Yes,
isolated e pawns?
I
Really?
yes, I love
Just to
this.
open the f pawn or the
I
f
think
pawn?
I think it's a super underrated maneuver that not a lot of people pull off as often as they could and or should. I was gonna say I absolutely love that. There's some like Blumenfeld Gambit, I think in the Scotch does something similar where like the queen goes to f3 and you accept the double isolated e pawns.
Wait, what are you doing after knight h4? Like that was the whole point of knight d4 is that it's a discovery on the f7 pawn after the
True,
knight
but there
moves.
was also the point that if you go rook e8, there's knight takes h6 check, g takes h6, queen takes f7 check,
Well,
king h8, rook f6.
I was thinking rook e7.
Then you just take it.
Oh, the knight covers that. Whoops.
Yeah. As
Yeah,
it
this
turns
looks
out, these
rough.
triple pawns are very, very, very strong, actually.
Yeah. I guess it's not so much the pawns themselves, but it's the structure in which it allows for the white pieces to maneuver, which mainly it's opening the f file. So now queen takes f7,
Check, yeah.
queen takes king h7. You can take on g6. Uh, I mean, bishop takes and then queen maybe back to f4.
I was thinking c4 even potentially, although you open yourself up to bishop d3 stuff, so maybe not.
Well, no, there you would take on c5, but I see what you're saying.
Just in general, right? Like
Yeah,
after
yeah, yeah.
b6, now you're like, oh well, there's a threat. I have to deal
Yeah,
with the threat. Blah blah.
b6, but then maybe. Whoa, knight here. Knight hitting the queen, hitting c7.
Potentially threatening knight f4.
And if,
Knight f4 could be lights out.
if queen d7, there was knight f8 fork, so queen to e7, and now, I mean,
Knight f4, I think, is pretty clear cut. Knight f4, knight takes b2, queen c3. If they take on f4, you take with the e pawn, you undoubled and solve literally every single one of your issues.
so another grumpy, dude. What a match, right?
Ooh, I
When
missed knight takes e5. What was
there's
I
knight takes
thinking?
g6. I mean, up in exchange for a
e3 is
pawn.
hanging,
Yeah,
though.
e3 is hanging.
It's not as clear as I hoped. I guess rook a e1 probably.
She's also just up a ton of time.
Yeah, true. Knight e5 is going to be the move. Or maybe rook e8, I guess.
Rook e8 seems sensible, but then
Yeah, knight e5 is definitely not the move. Then you just hang b7 for free, but
you want to check back on this Chris Repka game?
sure. I think another grumpy is gonna take this one home.
So let's see. Chris Repka won the first game with the white pieces, and now
This is Incredible Bubachek.
Yep. Ivan.
My board's not updating, unfortunately, so I have no idea what it looks like. Let me look on the stream.
Whoa. Rook c1, and Ivan plays b takes a6 sacrifice. Doesn't seem right. Oh, but then Repka gives it right back.
That doesn't want to do anything.
But to be fair,
crazy here.
Repka wins with a draw, so maybe that could be the reason why he's playing passive.
Yeah, he's just going back and forth. No reason to do anything too crazy here. Bishop g6 though, maybe? And we have some issues. If knight h6 check king g5, there's no checks, and we're threatening maybe some stuff. Maybe not though.
Rook check, king goes to d7.
Rook check, king d7, rook a7, or rook a8, sorry.
And you want to go for this g pawn. I don't know. It's not clear. He's using his time.
I guess then just king e7, unfortunately.
Thank you, Mashraf, for the raid. Did you win your... You won both matches today? That's good, dude. You're doing great. Pawn check, rook check, king h5. Knight f5.
This feels like white trying to get checkmated, honestly.
Both sides trying to get checkmated.
In particular, white, I would say. Ooh, I don't like taking on f5. You're gonna get like rook g4 now.
e6 threatening rook f7, rook takes f5. But
I think
black
you want
has
to get...
g6.
Yeah.
And again, black only needs a draw.
Gonna go d4.
Dude, I think the Annas just drew.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter either way.
What do you mean?
She was up 1-0.
So Anna Maria just lost the match.
Yeah.
So it didn't
Yeah.
matter.
I'm saying it didn't matter for another Grumpy, who was the one that was winning on the board, which is why she like went for that.
Unfortunate for Anna Maria, but congratulations to Anna Sargisian for winning, and she moves on to play against a very strong opponent, Harshit Raja, who lost in double overtime to Rui Feng. Oh, dude, we missed Rui Feng versus Oparin, bro.
Wait, really? They've been playing?
Apparently, according
That
to
was today?
the bracket, yeah.
Are they already done with their match?
Apparently.
How did they finish so quickly?
Let me look. I just see it in the No, they didn't play yet.
Yeah.
Huh. What's Oparin up to? Is he playing in the SEC? Maybe.
No idea.
Oh, you know what? I think it probably forfeited him. What the heck is going on? I don't know. Anyways. Wait, did Repka win? Oh wow. Wow, dude. Did you see the finish, the Repka game?
Nope.
So white took on f5, rook takes f5, and then rook to g2 is just checkmate in 2.
Ouchtown.
Because king h5 is forced, and then you mate with g6.
Right.
So yeah, not good. I wonder why not. Well, anyways. So Repka wins. And Repka will play against Antipov. So that's a big one. Another Grandmaster versus Grandmaster matchup, both from Mizzou. So teammates there.
Huge.
And we have Anna Sargisian versus Harshit Raja. But yeah, right now I don't see any games. You know, we could watch some SEC, you know.
I think it's just like ending right now. I think most
Oh,
of the
you know,
games
we
are
could
done.
watch some lower div games actually. Ooh, I see a Division 2 matchup between Richard Yee from UC San Diego against Keep It Cool, who's up 1 point. So let me maybe if I share the game link with you, it'll work.
Let's see.
I just sorted the watch games by Rapid and found a 10+2 time control.
Ah, I see. Keep it cool.
So let me look at who Keep It Cool is. Keep It Cool.
Is keeping it cool.
Wow, this is actually number 1 seed versus number 2 seed in D2.
Ooh, what a
So
matchup.
Richard Yee is the number 1 seed from UC San Diego, and Keep It Cool is Ansh Shah from Rutgers University.
Keep it cool is keeping it cool. They got a nice position here. Looks like some kind of another like modern type game. Ugh. But I really like what White's done with the place, frankly.
So I actually met I met Richard at UC San Diego. I did a visit there earlier this year
Nice. Did you get in?
to UC San Diego.
Yeah.
Actually, I did get in there.
Epic.
Back when I was applying for undergrad.
Well, I mean, I figured that's why you visited, right?
No, I visited earlier this year as just a campus visit to check out their chess club.
I mean, yeah, like you're a chess player, of course. Like the chess club is gonna like, factor into your decision about where you're gonna go.
I'm not going back to school. I'm done with school. But yeah, they did. I did apply there when I was applying for undergrad, and I actually was intending to go to UC San Diego, but then I figured UCLA was just the better choice, so I went there instead, and I never looked back.
Yeah, but San Diego's like a way cooler place than LA.
I mean,
Like San
it's
Diego's
up to
so much more fun.
personal preference. So, but yeah, Richard, he's an OG. He was playing in CCL season 1 as part of the MIT team.
Damn, how old
Yo,
is this guy?
we're getting a raid from Jeffrey Shang. Yo, thank you. Someone was quick with the shout
Holy
out.
dang. What's
Hey,
up,
I am
Jeffrey? Good to see you.
Velati. Do you know who I am Velati is?
Yeah, I know, Luke.
Now, talk about UCLA chess legends. Luke was he was the vice president of the club for all 4 years. 3 of my 4 years. But yeah, we're watching a Division 2 matchup right now between the number 1 and the number 2 seed players. Richard Yi, National Masters from UC San Diego. He is playing against Ansh Shah from Rutgers University. There's a lot of money on the line in this match. You can check out our full prizes listed here. But yeah, Jeffrey Shang, how did the SEC go? Did you win? Did you qualify? What happened there? Somebody tell me. But we might be bringing in Jeffrey for some commentary.
That would be lit.
He qualified. Let's go.
Damn, you qualified. So did you
Dude.
qualify to some kind of like playoff? Or is it you qualified for the SCC? Qualified for tomorrow. Ooh, he
So,
plays Salem. That's tough. That guy's good.
but he's in, dude.
He
He
is
made
in.
it. Wait, so does 8th place, like if he loses tomorrow, does he get like cash? Did he get in the money?
8 qualified players do a knockout tomorrow. Winner qualifies for the thing. Sweet. Who are the 8 players? There's Jeffrey, Salem.
Some scraps. No, Jeffrey's in it to win it, dude. Jeffrey's in it to win the whole thing. If you qualify, then you're making thousands. That's great. That's great news. Artemiev Don. I saw Danya was playing right too for the qualifier.
Yeah, he came high. I think Dubov also got 10.5.
Yeah, I wish I could have kept more track of SEC, but obviously we've been here watching the Collegiate Chess League. This is the second week of the playoffs, so we have 3 weeks. Our first week was last week. Right now, the players are doing the top 2 rounds. This is a double elimination, so it's the top 2 rounds for the winners bracket, and it's 3 rounds in the losers bracket. This match between Richard and Ansh Shah. Let me see.
It's a wild game.
If I
Rook
can
eight's a nice move, I think. Is Rook H3 a threat of Rook G3?
I don't know.
It's a very tough position. For whatever reason, I can't get the engine to work, so this is having to be my
If you go to probably
brain
watch,
only.
I think if you go to watch, you can see it.
I am in watch, and
And then maybe there's
I've
like
tried. Yeah.
evaluation and lines are on.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when I click them on, it does not come on. So the point is, this is going to be just pure brain power here. The one good thing is, luckily, there's no good players in chat. So
Wait,
I'm just going to
we
call
just
this
got rated by
a.
Jeffrey Shang.
Like I said, there's no good players in chat, but
Dang. Oh my goodness.
yeah, maybe White could hold this to a draw. I'm still wondering. Okay, E5. Whoa, we can't play bishop takes, just rook G. Wait. I don't know, man. I don't know anything
Wow.
about chess. Hilariously,
So
I thought this was
complicated.
mate in 2, but I forgot the queen's on b2.
So
So I guess black's just winning here. Bishop g7 now. Looks pretty good. Or bishop c3 check even. Bishop c3 check and rook a2.
oh, this is actually the losers bracket in Division 2. So this is an elimination match. Richard
Oh baby.
needs a win here.
I feel like Richard's gonna get the win. I'm gonna call it now. He's up time, and I think the position is just winning by force for black.
And if he does win, he forces an overtime match, which is going to be a 5+2 game. And he will get
That's
the
gonna
white
be
pieces
insane.
back. And just to look at the let's see. Ooh, and the winner actually moves on to play against the 15th seed, so they're going to be favored no matter what. But
Except that apparently the 15th seed's been like running through the whole bracket. Maybe not the easiest one.
true,
Right?
yeah, no, he went through the winners bracket and only just now got his first loss of the playoffs today. But yeah, right now these players are playing for, I want to say, $400. Not
That's a
bad.
chunk of change.
Rui Feng won his match earlier today against Harshit Raja from Mizzou. So he is currently in the winners finals. I believe his opponent Oparin was trying to play in the SEC, so I actually don't know if they were able to reschedule their match or if they've already played. I don't think they've already played, actually. So I will need to check with them.
Queen takes g2 does threaten bishop c3 checkmate here. Does not decide to do that. But it looks like this is going to take care of things anyway. We got mate on e1. We got the bishop hanging on d1. I don't want to say I told you so, but I kind of told you so. All right, take on d1 check. Come on, baby. This is over. You know it's over. It's an easy right here. Queen d2 check. Pre-move that.
Or just bishop e5. Looks pretty good.
Ah, queen d4 check.
And now queen takes e5.
Yeah, same thing. Queen e1's mate.
Nice. So Richard
All right.
lives to play another game with the season on the line, money on the line. He moves on to play in the tiebreak. But I want to make sure that we're not missing Rui Feng.
Wait, Grigory and Rui Feng are like playing, apparently.
Ah, I see it. Okay. So I think we're gonna take a quick break to bring on Jeffrey, and we're gonna finish watching the winners finals. So
Oh yeah, that'll be lit. Two
Yeah.
GMs, baby. Let's go.
so thank you so much, John, for being here. Always a pleasure. And maybe we'll bring you back on next week or even tomorrow with the U.S. Rapid Championship.
Yeah, you'll see me
So yeah, thank you everyone. We will take a really quick break to bring on Jeffrey Zhang. See you
later.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We need a little extra time for Jeffrey, but the good news is the game is underway, so we're going to check that out. Here we've got Rui Feng versus Oparin. This is winners finals, so this is a big match. The winner of this will move on to the grand finals, where they're going to actually have an advantage in that they need to only win one match as opposed to winning two, because whoever comes from the losers bracket is going to have to beat them twice, essentially. And what's really big about this matchup is that there's a lot of money on the line. So in Division 1, we have a prize. Well, if we check our prizes list with the prizes command, you will see that the number 1 overall prize wins $1,600. So it's, I think, somewhat significant, which is pretty cool. Overall, Chess.com is giving out $20,000 in prizes for the entire fall season. Our spring season, which starts in January, registration for that will open soon, is going to have $30,000 on the line. So, yeah, lots of money here. And let's see how these players are going. This is the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed. Oparin starting with a D4 opening. Rui Feng, double Fianchetto. Playing somewhat passively, as we've seen before. Rui Feng, just before this match, took on Harshit Raja, also from Mizzou, and was able to beat him in double OT. So now he's got to play against Oparin, who's a somewhat stronger player, definitely a higher seeded player. And we'll see how Rui Feng manages to take him on here. So we have A5. This is just undermining Black's pawn structure. I like Oparin has queen and rook doubled on the D file. This D pawn is weak. It's backwards. White's got a strong grip on the center with the light squares. And at some point, probably Black will have to move this bishop out. The bishop's a key defender over D6, but no, White decides to leave the D file. And some trades on B5. The bishop's hit, but the knight falls. Trade of rooks. And lo and behold, we find ourselves in this position. Both players with about half their clock left. And wow, trade on F3. What is going on? Or G3, excuse me. Bishop takes G3, and the point is there's queen E3 with the fork after rook takes on C1. So bishop takes G3. That is a strong move. A nice tactic here from Rui Feng. So Rui Feng is up a pawn now after this last move. And I'm wondering if we can threaten something like queen B2 now. Or maybe even bishop takes on F2 as a threat. Like, yeah, there's a lot of complications here. And maybe Grigori missed this. Either way, he's going to have to find himself out of this. Now, I see that the score says that they both have a draw. I don't know if that's actually a draw or not. It could have just been that they agreed to a draw to rematch. So I'll have to double check on that. But I would assume that this is game 1 of 2. So this is a best of 2 match. We see rook goes all the way back to F1, and Rui Feng saves the bishop, keeps it on, and White's going to push their past A pawn. Bishop here is blocking the E pawn. Queen here, this leaves the B pawn hanging. But it also controls the promotion square, so maybe this pawn also tries to run. But yeah, queen and rook both keeping an eye on this pawn, and this bishop doing a good job of blocking out the E pawn, which is blocking the Fianchetto light square bishop. So now B3 can be played here from Rui Feng. So Grigori decides not to trade pawns, decides to push his own. This is interesting though. because now black can make progress as well. And Rifeng's also up on time, which is somewhat unusual for Grigri to be down on time. But it has been a tricky position, right? Rifeng had this nice bishop takes g3 tactic, lots of threats on f2, as well as checks on e3 potentially. So Grigri had to be a little passive and defensive and spent some time. And now Rifeng is continuing with the b pawn. Yeah, this is going to be tough, and especially what's good news for Rifeng is that he's got the black pieces here. So if they do go on to the next game, Rifeng will have a full point and will only need a draw with the white pieces to win the match. So that's pretty big. Now the good news for both of these players is that even if they lose this match, it will only be the first match that they've lost, and they will move on to the losers finals. So they will play again next week for another chance to play for the winners finals, or I guess the grand finals at that point. So we could see a potential rematch. This could be match 1 of 2 between these two players, assuming whoever loses this match will go on to win the losers finals. So yeah, and Grigri, he's now under 2 minutes. He's got to think of a move to make here. Really quickly, I want to look at the last match that we were keeping an eye on. Richard versus Ansh. Looks like they drew their tiebreak game, actually. Or is this the tiebreak game? I don't know. Either way, this is an elimination game. This is a sudden death at this point. Unless they drew a 5+2 game, then they should not be playing 5+2 again. Let me double check that. Yeah, it looks like they drew 5+2, and this game might not count. Unless this game is 1+2, but I don't think it is. Either way, I'm going to go back to the Rifeng game and Grigri game. So what happened here? We traded the outside pass pawns. So, okay, h5 is what Grigri went for. With queen here, queen takes, and now using the open g file. So, yeah. We've gotten rid of the outside pass pawns. This might help white a little bit, but it also helps simplify for black, which could be helpful. All right, looks like we traded rooks, and this actually helped black structure. But we do have opposite color bishops, which, in all fairness, is most likely going to be a draw. What's up, Sky Dragoon? All right, I'm going to take a quick break because Jeffrey is ready now. So we're going to bring Jeffrey on, hopefully by the end of this game. So I'll be right back. Quick break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We've got Grandmaster Jeffrey Zhang joining the broadcast. So thank you, Jeffrey, for joining.
Oh, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Are you looking at this game? What's going on?
So yeah, it was opposite
Oh,
colored
man.
bishops. But it looks like you just won.
Yeah,
So
they traded a bishop for like 3 or 4 pawns or something crazy.
yeah, I guess. I mean, 4 pawns against a bishop, usually sufficient. So
Seems good enough.
very nice win there by Rufeng with black.
Now, I heard you might be a Rui Feng fan.
Yes.
So
Yeah, if that's allowed. I mean.
Of course. We love
Okay.
having fans. So explain to me how that happened. How'd you meet?
Sure. So we're actually both grew up playing chess in Dallas, in DCC. In fact, the Dallas Chess Club. And the heydays of DCC were these like late 2000s, early 2010s. There were many events. You had guys like, I mean, all these UTD students were playing there. Conrad Holt, Christian Carilla, Julio Sidora, like many names. And basically, we're fortunate, Rufeng and I, in a sense that we got to just go there and get free games more or less against all these strong grandmasters. And I want to say, so 2011 was the first time we crossed paths. We both played in this World Youth in Brazil. I think I played in under 12, he played in under 10, and we both did quite well. Like he finished silver, I finished top 5. So after that, yeah, we got to know each other a bit better because we were also traveling with each other the entire time. So we became good friends, and then we came back to Dallas. We started attending group lessons, and yeah, since then we've just been really close.
That's awesome. And now he's playing in the Collegiate Chess League winners bracket finals against Grigori Oparin. So I'm assuming you probably played against Oparin as well, right?
Only recently, before Oparin came to the US, we never played. Maybe just a few times online, but that was the extent of it. And I believe we've only just played one game. It was the St. Louis Winter Classic back in 2019, I believe. And he had some pressure on me, but I managed to hold a draw.
Nice. And Rui Feng obviously just won the first game, so that's actually really big because now he only needs a draw with the white pieces to move on to the grand finals. So we were watching Rui Feng play a little earlier. With the black pieces, he starts off actually pretty passively, kind of like a hyper modern. He played a game very similar to like a hippo structure against Raja. Now he's got the white pieces, and do you think that like knowing you have draw odds, does that change how aggressive you play?
It does. It's always it's like the one problem, I mean, the one concern that I have is Rufeng is always a very aggressive player. Like he likes to play sharp. So the must draw with white is not actually like as good as it might sound. Like for example, other more solid players would be ecstatic at this opportunity, but I see like Rufeng, he plays close Sicilian, which is usually ending in sharp battles. So this is actually the current position looks very double edged.
Yeah, Grigori has just played a4, and I can only assume that black wants to play for a3. You feel like that seems right?
Exactly. Yeah, a3 big threat to sort of hit this pawn chain b2 c3, and if the pawn chain collapses, then black could get access to the d4 square. His bishop would be very strong. So I'm not sure how you counter this.
Yeah. Is a3 a move? Just
Right,
pushing black
a3 is
to
the
play?
move I want to play, but I'm worried about like b takes c3 and knight a5 ideas. That knight sort of jumps into b3. By the way, shout out to some people in chat. Hello, Tim. I see Tim as a founder. That's very cool.
Well, Tim
Uh,
he found the channel today and subscribed, so there's still subscriber badges left.
wait, really?
Yeah. We only
Oh, you
recently.
just got affiliate, you mean?
Well, no, we were never affiliate. We went straight to partner.
Oh, I
Just-
see. Okay,
yeah.
let me get founder myself. I'm gonna jump on this
Okay.
opportunity.
Well, I don't know how many are
There we
left,
go.
but I can only imagine. That would be so funny if Tim got the last one and you just.
Oh, that would be unfortunate for me. Yeah. And also, I see UTD Chess Club. Speaking of, so I spoke about these group lessons. Rufeng and I, we had many group lessons with Julio Sedora, who is currently the coach of the UTD team, and I believe that he's in the chat. So great to see Julio here. He
Nice.
certainly made a big difference in both Rufeng and I's chess playing careers.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's see. Instead of playing a3, Ruifeng played rook to c1, which makes sense, and black continued with a3. We
Mhm.
see a capture on c3, and yeah, is this a3 pawn like more of a thorn or like a strength for black, or is it more of a weakness, like a potential target?
I think this is actually it's not clear, but I would say that it's more of a strength at least for now, because you've always got Queen A5 if you need. But yeah, in general, I think I would be very happy as Oparin because you have a really prime chance to get the win you need.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of time left on the clock here. Both players at about 7 minutes. Have you ever played Ruifeng in like a blitz match or even bullet or anything like that?
Bullet, maybe we played once over the board. Like as I said, we basically grew up playing since 2011, and we were always together like till 2017 even. So that gave us a lot of chances to play casual matches. Yeah.
I see this knight on c4 is under attack by the pawn, and the knight is also defending this d3 pawn by blocking the bishop on a6. So I'm
Right, this
thinking,
is very interesting here. There's a lot of, I see a lot of options for Rufeng. You can take on c5, you can take on e7, or you can go knight e5.
wow, bishop takes on c5. That is a strong move, huh?
Well, I think Oparin wants, so you can show this bishop c5, dc4, and bishop e7, queen takes d3. I think this is his concept.
I see, I see. That's a sharp line.
Yeah, this is gonna get wild.
Is that what the line you would go for? Who do you think that favors?
I'm not sure. Intuitively, I would say my feeling is like it's not good for white, but it's very hard to be sure. Like bishop c5, dc bishop e7, queen d3, knight d3, bishop f8, king f8. Yeah, it doesn't feel good. There's too many things are hanging for white at the end.
So looks good for Grigori. Another idea, could you play like knight e5?
Yeah, knight e5 is the one that I'm trying to make work. So
So
knight e5,
bishop takes
yeah,
e5, right?
bishop e5, rook e5.
And then is there knight takes d3?
Yeah, knight takes d3, and then I take on d5. I'm not sure with what. He does go knight e5.
Yeah, you have knight and bishop and rook all attacking d5. So yeah, I guess knight takes d5 is a good intermezzo because the point of taking on d3 with a knight is you want to fork the rook on c1 and e5, but the problem is if you take on d5, well, you could take on d5 with check, but I'm assuming knight takes is stronger because you're threatening the knight on e7.
Yeah, by the way, do we have analysis board? Because Like even for me, it's hard to keep up with these long lines, so I can't imagine the viewers. Is it possible to analyze to move pieces?
No, we can't,
Oh,
unfortunately.
you can't move pieces. Okay.
I mean, I can. Okay, what were we looking at? Bishop takes. I can only predict moves. What
Right.
if I turn this?
Is there a way to do analysis board? I remember there is a way. Let me think. Because chess.com showed me.
It's all good. I know I have the arrows. I think the chat's gonna have to just follow along. But
Just keep up.
wait,
Okay.
wait.
Whoa, rook e6.
95 and knight takes d3 was played?
Yeah, and then he instantly blitzed at rook e6, which I didn't see.
Rook.
Okay.
Wait. I must be missing something.
Oh, Julio says click on analysis, the icon.
Okay, sorry. My board was messed up. Okay, so trade on e5 first, yes. And now knight takes d3, but then rook e6. So not taking on d5. That's interesting.
Yeah,
huh?
I think rook e6 is good, actually.
Rook
I
e6
started to like this rook e6 move.
attacking the bishop on a6, right? Is it doing anything else?
Well, that's the main thing, but actually it's not easy for black to react.
So the point is, if black takes on c1, we take on a6, and this knight on
Right.
c1 is trapped.
Yes. I mean, it's still sharp even there, but white has these two bishops, so and black's king is flimsy. This is his point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wait, so I'm just checking again. Can we move pieces now? Like Julio's sort of giving instructions.
If you want me to click on the analysis icon.
What is
which
the analysis icon though?
I
Oh, it's
see-
on play. It's on play. Okay.
I see classroom.
Let me look at this. Okay, hold on. So, classroom.
It's funny. Yeah,
Yeah, just so now we
That's
can
it.
move pieces or.
on this board, yeah.
Oh, excellent. All right, let's use this one then.
Well, yeah, I'll have to switch back and forth. Just so that we don't miss the live moves.
Oh, I see what you mean. You mean this board isn't live?
The
Ah.
board I have on Classroom is not live, no. It doesn't update.
Okay, wait. Let me.
It's not a big deal. I don't mind
Okay.
lack of analysis for it, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Maybe something to think about later. But meanwhile, so if not knight c1, what are the moves?
Well, the bishop on a6 is hanging, so probably you want to defend that, but if you defend it like with the rook per se, we could still take on a6 because
Exactly,
the knight on
yeah.
d3 is hanging.
And so what about knight takes f2?
Knight takes f2 looks like a move, but then maybe queen takes f2.
Probably just queen f2, yeah. Because then c5 is hanging.
c5 is hanging.
I wanted to go bishop c8, but okay, let's see. Maybe I go bishop c8 there.
Bishop c8. Is there rook takes on e7? And then I guess there's
Sack? I'm not sure you want to sack.
What's wrong with that?
So you mean you sack on e7, I'll take?
Queen takes, and then queen takes d3.
No. I took on f2 first. I took on f2, queen f2, bishop c8.
Oh, okay. So takes, queen takes, then bishop to c8. Okay. Yeah, then I guess we just bring the rook back. Whoa, d4. d4 is played, so this is just attacking the knight on c3. Don't we just take on a6?
Yeah, I
Oh.
thought so too, but he goes knight a4. Wow.
Knight a4.
I would have actually just taken on a6. I thought that was
Yeah,
simple
take on
enough.
a6. If black takes on c3, then or
You can
maybe
take with either piece. I think you can take with either piece.
well, no, you take on d3. But I'm assuming if we took on a6, then I guess black takes on c1 or something, but that still looks good though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the
That's
very
still
least, you
good.
could transpose. But anyway, so bishop b5. Now I think Rufing he wants to sack. Maybe he wants rook
Take
takes c5
yeah,
now.
take on c5 with something. I guess rook takes makes sense.
Probably rook takes. And then after knight c5, d3. That one's not so clear actually.
Yeah, Rui Feng, the #1 seed in the bracket, he won the regular season, and Grigri is #2 seed. Rui Feng actually beat him on tie breaks. But yeah, Rui Feng, he won the first game, and now that might be Oparin's first loss in this playoff bracket format, which is
So how did
fantastic.
how did you even decide the participants?
So we had a registration a long time ago, and then regular
Oh,
season
okay.
was just 6 weeks of Swiss tournaments. So we had like a club page, and we just had the players play, and I believe it was a 6-round 10+1 Swiss.
Gotcha.
And then we added up the top 5 scores out of those 6 weeks for everyone's standings, and then we used those standings to create the divisions and the brackets. So the top 16 players made D1, and Rui Feng was the #1 seed, Grigri was the #2 seed. And it makes sense. Now they're playing in the winners finals. And Rui Feng's spending a lot of time here. He's thinking,
Yeah, I think he should have he should have taken the bishop because maybe he underestimated bishop b5. Because now like okay, rook c5, knight c5, knight c5, d3. I've been trying to work this position out.
D3, and then yeah, D3 is a strong pawn, but can we try to corral it? I mean, like bishop F1, or is there like rook E3?
Yeah, we can play bishop f1, but it doesn't feel like it's in the spirit of the position. I wanted to keep my bishop on that
Yeah.
diagonal, play for an attack.
Now Rui Feng is under 2 minutes.
Yeah, he doesn't like this either, but I don't see anything better. Like if you go knight c5, that seems like a worse version after knight c1 and d3. So he does do it. Okay.
But he takes with the knight, allowing Grigri to pin this knight. Oh, maybe was there queen takes A3 there?
There was, yeah, there was, but he's trying to do something else. I'm not actually sure what.
Queen D2
I'm not,
C.
yeah, it's very hard to predict moves for some reason. Usually I predict quite a high rate, but I'm not predicting any moves.
Unguess the move. So okay, Grigri is up in exchange. Whoa, Tim with 10 gifted. Thank you so much. And Jack with the prime as well. Appreciate that. Welcome. Let's get some scums going.
Nice, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Really
Tim is
appreciate that.
super generous.
Oh, you know Tim?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's well known, I think, in Twitch community. Great supporter of all the chess streamers. Really
10
appreciate
cannon
you, Tim.
poker. Well, I will remember that, and I appreciate that. So thank you so much.
Yeah, rook on e6 is a huge pain. Yeah. So like it's probably sufficient compensation, but it's a 3 results game. So I mean, Grigory should be quite happy in general.
Yeah, I mean, he's up in exchange. The positions, of course, is complicated. This D3 pawn, like I remember I asked you, is the A3 pawn a strength or a weakness? And same goes with this D3 pawn, right? Like both of them are isolated and hard to hold on to.
But I think it's almost certainly a strength now. This D3 pawn.
Yeah, they're very deep is the thing. So it's
And
annoying.
yeah, I mean, I was gonna say White's queen can never move because of D2, and also your knight cannot move. So like, it's not that easy for either side to find moves.
So bishop F3.
H4, okay. This might allow G4 though. I'm wondering. Nobody. Oh,
G
takes is
just
probably
takes.
better. Yeah,
So
takes in H5.
oh, and looking to trade this off. Does this not give up the D pawn?
But why did he throw in H4? Like I thought Bishop C6 was fine without. All right, now they're gonna
Back
start playing
trade.
fast.
But now yeah, they're both under a minute.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I just want to clarify. It's 2-second increment or
Yes.
2 second. Okay.
Yeah, I like Rui Feng, man. I don't see how like the A and D pawns, they might have been a strength earlier, but after trading the light square bishop, it seems really complicated.
Yeah, you can take the A pawn too. Yeah, that's true.
But then you lose the B pawn.
But he's gonna go Rook D6. Wow, roofing. I don't think we think in the same wavelength. Like I would have just eliminated the A pawn, but he wants to go for the throat here, Rook D6, which is probably was better the more I look at it. So maybe like Queen D5 or okay, again he plays another move.
Knight backed. Queen
D5,
check.
yeah. H5. I like H5 now. H5 has to be good.
Oh man, H5
There he goes, B6.
missed. Now the rook is hit.
How do you finish this off?
Rook F6?
Rook F6 should be fine, yeah. Maybe just Rook F6.
Rook F6, and then does black have a... I guess they can't go for perpetual. I'm looking at like rook.
No. Rook D8. Okay, Queen G2 maybe? Or Queen C6, just trade queens.
Queen
Many
G2
ways
is
to
so
play
strong.
this. Yeah, Queen G2, okay.
Rook D1, there's King H2.
Just King H2. Knight H8, B7, yep. Alright, H5 I think you should play.
H5 played.
it.
Rook check, king up. Rook's doubled
HG?
now.
HG? But HG should be fine.
HG, just
King
King
G7. Wait,
yeah.
there is King G7. Hold on.
And now...
But maybe Rook E6. No, Rook E6 takes.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness, he's got no time.
1 second. Oh my god. Now Rook takes F2.
Rook F2.
Wait. But then there's Rook...
This might... Wait a sec. Rook F2, Rook E8. Takes King H1.
Rook
Should
H2,
be a draw, right?
King G1. Isn't black up a rook? Or... Oh, he's
Black is up
mate.
a rook, yeah.
But then white's threatening to
Black is
promote
up-
on B8.
Ah, shoot, there's Rook
there's
C2.
there's another
Oh,
mate
no.
threat. Knight check.
Oh, no.
King F6. and How do you stop mate?
Oh, that's very unlucky.
How do you stop mate? Rook
Yeah,
B1's
very
mate.
unlucky.
Oh my goodness. So, what a game. Grigri with the
He swindled it. He
with the
swindled it
rook
somehow.
pair. Rook's on the second. Checkmate.
Yeah, the
So-
classic. I remember my dad always said this. 2 rooks on the 7. Yeah.
Wow, and that's how you force overtime. So with the white pieces, Rui Feng couldn't get the win. And now we're gonna have to see a 5+2 game.
Yeah, I think that key moment was he had to go H5 one move earlier. And I just switched on the engine to confirm it. But anyways, so now is this sudden death or what is the
It is
format?
sudden death. So next game wins, basically. So this is 5+2. If they draw this, then they go to 1+2. They switch colors. So Grigori would get white. And they would just
All right.
alternate until someone wins.
And what are they playing for here? What is first place? What is second?
So the winner of this goes to grand finals, and the loser has to go play in the losers bracket in losers finals.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So then, so they would. So the winner of this game would basically be waiting for their opponent in the finals. Yeah.
Exactly. And so
Gotcha.
the winner of this match is guaranteed to win at least $1,300.
Whoa! Wow. Okay, that is a serious sum.
Yeah. First place is 1,600. Third place is 1,000. So
Wow, very nice. Very
yeah.
nice prize fund. Wait, it's so nice that I kind of want to play in.
Well, are you a currently enrolled student? I think you already graduated,
No.
right?
No, I didn't graduate. I never went to university. I went pro from a young age.
Oh.
So I never actually. Maybe Julio can look to recruit me for UTD.
Yeah, if you go for a degree, just let any of us know. We'd be happy to get you on a team.
Nick asked, was Knight of 5 theory? Yes, Knight of 5 is the move too. Yeah, the Knight of 5 G6, I think. So this is more principled by Rufeng.
So we have opposite side castles.
This could get. Well, both kings are actually quite safe. At least, I mean, especially black. Black is never getting mated in this position.
Yeah, I like black's position here. Rook on the d file looks really strong. The bishop pair in the open center looks really strong as well. Although knight to d7, this helps give up some squares maybe. Now, yeah, like knight to e4.
Yeah, knight e4.
This move wasn't possible earlier because the bishop was pinned.
But maybe does he want like bishop g6? I'm trying to understand. Try to play on the d with the pin on the d file. Not sure though, because g7 is always hanging. Bishop e4,
Okay.
bishop c3.
Offer bishop trade. Queen takes. And
All
yeah,
right,
like you
probably
said.
knight g3, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, do you go? You can play. You can offer a queen trade. Okay, he goes knight e5 instead. I guess rook d1. Just keep the tension.
You're okay with the knight taking on d3?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm actually quite happy with that.
Really?
Because I think I would get like an extra pawn in the center.
Mm.
So yeah, he's gonna go rook d1. f6, good move. Bolstering the knight.
Now
Looks very even here.
Rufeng's launching the a-pawn, right? Opposite side castle. He's trying to stir up some trouble.
But maybe you just trade everything on the d file. Like taking rook d8.
Rook takes, rook takes. So do you think that Grigori would be favored if we get to the bullet time control?
No, I don't think so.
No? You still favor Rufeng?
Well, I'm not sure I would favor either. I think it would just
It's
be
still
a
even.
complete toss-up. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting though with black pieces in the blitz format.
Oh, yeah. I think it's not much of an advantage to get white and bullet. I feel.
I just feel like sometimes the players are like so evenly strength that like any little detail can help with the match. But yeah, I like this knight e4 move, right? You trade off that bishop, and now the knight comes into e4.
Yeah, but I think it's still very, very balanced. 55.
I think Grigori is lifting the rook to try to double on the d file. So knight e4 kind of makes black have to move the rook a second time, which is helpful. So okay, trading.
I'm gonna try to take knight c5. Okay. So now maybe b6.
b6, knight a6 check, is that a thing? It's a knight b4.
But knight a6, king b7, I thought. Yeah, knight b4 and
C6
yeah, maybe because
weak.
you actually you want to go a5 next.
I was
But
thinking like
okay, yeah, we'll
F4.
see. Yeah, like knight before queen d6. Still not much going on, I don't think. Like black can play many moves. So queen d6, probably rook d1. By the
Oh,
way, knight
is
g,
is knight
yeah,
g4 a threat?
yeah, knight g4 could be an idea in some positions. So yeah, rook d1 clearing the f1 square.
Wait, what do we do after knight g4? Oh, we
Well, now
just
we can
take.
take it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
okay, the king can go to f1 now. All right. Okay, so rook over to
Okay.
d8.
Maybe a5.
Is e4 a move? Or does that
e4,
allow
d4.
d4? Okay.
Yeah. So a5 I think is a good try. a6 by the way is a big threat.
That's really
So
annoying.
maybe b6 can still be played. But b6 comes your idea. Knight a6 knight. Okay, so that's why a6 instead.
So yeah, not allowing for white to play a6.
Now, do you go b4 simply?
You play b4, b5.
Well, for now I just want to
Support
protect
the
the
knight.
knight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that frees up the queen.
exactly. Then maybe queen b3 next. Maybe e4 is in the air.
All
All
right.
right, he goes this one. What is his
Threatening
follow-up though?
checkmate, but queen
Oh,
c6.
wait. Now he has either c4 or e4.
Wait, yeah, e4. Oh,
Or
c4.
c4 though. Or c4.
True.
Because now, I mean, a6 is also hanging in some lines. Can you go king a7?
King a7. Oh, he played it. Called it.
So now how do you... Because the problem is black wants rook d6 next. So how do you actually use this pin? Oh, you know what? I think you were right about e4. He should have played e4 because then he would have queen d4. Like, imagine if he had played
yeah,
e4.
yeah. The c pawn blocks the queen.
Mm-hmm.
So he kicks
Okay,
the knight
f4 knight
out.
f7. He's very close, but I don't see anything concrete.
Briefing's also up about 45 seconds, so that's nice.
Yeah, he can use some time here, but I don't actually see a good way. All right, he's gonna take.
Trade.
Okay, but now, I mean, Oparin should be fine here. Probably just you can check in knight d6,
Wait,
or he can go queen c6.
apparently knight takes b7 was a tactic.
Oh, knight b7.
Because
Whoa.
then queen c5 with queen f8.
Oh, I did
or-
not see that. Wow. That is very clever. That is very clever. So now I guess queen d1 then is the move. Queen d1, knight d6.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
queen
I think
back.
does same tactic work here? Knight b7. I think it still works, but yeah, it's hard to see it. Hard to see that one. Okay, knight d3. So black has a majority on the queen side. White has a passed e pawn.
Would you ever trade like queen d7 there? Is that good for black?
No, that's good for black with the a pawn.
Yeah, the 2-on-1 on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, e5.
So okay, if black takes, I don't expect them to, but if they did, would you take with knight or
I'd
pawn?
probably take with the knight. Yeah, I'd probably take with the knight there.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
black
so
doesn't
knight
take.
f5.
Queen's hit.
Because there's some knight e3 ideas. Like I want to play queen d8.
Yeah.
He does play it.
But yeah, this queen and the knight cover all the
Exactly.
squares.
Yeah, that's a great point. You cover all checking squares.
And is g4 just too much?
G4 is probably too much, yeah. A5 was a great move, by the way.
Just preventing
now-
knight b4.
Exactly, yeah. And also you get the a6 square for the king. So now knight e3 is a big threat. Very tough position here. I think you take on f6. Very, very bad position. I think you have to try to take on f6 and go like king h2 or something.
Yeah, Rufang under a minute.
Yeah, he doesn't see a move he likes. It's he's definitely worse here, and he can easily become losing if he doesn't
Can we
play
just
precisely.
do b4?
But b4 probably
a4?
AB, even AB, right? Because you cannot recapture. So yeah, he takes in king h2.
Because there's too
I
many
think this is
checks.
the best try. King a6. Wow. Okay, what if I move the knight? Knight somewhere, I don't know where. Knight b2 maybe? Goes knight e1.
I think knight b2, like knight e3 looks super strong.
No, but I had queen d3 check.
Queen.
That was my idea.
Yeah. Oh, maybe there's
Okay,
still
queen e4, queen d2. Okay,
Wait,
knight e.
this defends f4 and e1.
Actually, some of these knight endgames might be okay because white can make it past h pawn. So okay, knight d4. Now what?
This looks dangerous.
Yeah, this is so hard to play.
Knight
But he's
here,
gonna
but
try knight
now
d3. He's
knight
gonna give
takes-
up the pawn. Yeah, but then queen c3 at least. Oh, queen c2. Queen c2. All right, queen d5 or queen e6. Queen e6 also.
Oh, he's
Okay, queen
threatening knight
d5.
discoveries. Okay.
Check. King b5. King b5 forced. Check. King c4.
I think Grigori wins this.
I think Grigory's in good shape. Yeah, because
Those,
you're never gonna mate this king. You're never ever gonna mate this king.
the pawns are so strong.
All right,
Knight
he's gonna
check.
try knight b2, but king. Oh, king c3. At least there's knight a4 takes. So okay, king b4. Queen e. Okay,
Queen
takes.
takes.
Check. King
check.
c3.
King back.
He's trying. He's gonna
f4.
try. Oh, but queen e3 there. Queen e3 was winning, by the way.
Oh.
Queen
Missed.
e3 was actually winning the knight.
True. Queen check. Knight check.
Okay. Still winning for Grigory. No, but just a3.
a3. It's tough.
Check? Wait a second. Check?
Over. Do we
No.
take on a3?
Wait, knight e3? Hold on, wait. What is Grigory doing, actually? Take on a3. What is he
There
doing?
goes a3.
Why did he just give the pawn? Now it should be a
Wait.
draw, I think.
Queen a2 check?
Queen a2? Yeah, I like queen a2.
Like, pretty much forced.
Okay, queen e2, queen d3. It's still tricky. Still tricky.
Apparently trading
Okay,
is-
he's gonna take. Aha, yeah, he's gonna get
he's
the
gonna
pawn
sack
off
the
the
knight.
board.
Yeah, because if you push b3, there's knight d4 check fork.
This should be a draw. This should be a draw. Take on
So-
b4. Take on b4. This should be a draw.
Takes, king up. So you just need to trade
Wait,
off that
wait a
last pawn.
second. Wait a second.
The king is there in
Maybe-
time. He's gonna go for g5, but the knight's there.
This is very close. I think it's a draw, but I'm not sure.
h4.
I'm really not sure.
Oh.
He's got a blockade. But still, like, it's hard to triangulate the knight. That's the thing. It might be winning. I have no idea. I really have no idea. Oh, probably it is winning. Shoot. No, it is just
Wow.
winning. What am I saying? It is just winning.
Wow. Crazy. So Grigori was down a game and wins 2 in a row to win the match.
Yeah, I guess knight c2 was bad. Just h4 instead. Yeah, very clutch finish here by Grigori. Assuming he gets this done, yeah, king's coming the other way. Looks over.
Wow. I love it. Nicely done from Oparin.
Yeah, very well deserved win.
And just like that, Oparin goes to the grand finals. He is guaranteed 1,300 for at least second place, and Rui Feng is gonna have to go and fight his way back in the losers bracket for a chance at a rematch against Oparin. And he's gonna have to beat him in 2 matches instead of just 1 because of the double elimination.
Oh, it's
format.
double elimination. Okay.
Yeah. So
So wait,
that's
who
big.
is? Yeah, who does Rufane play?
So Rui Feng will move on to play against the winner between, well, that's going to be determined next week. So in the losers bracket, we have Anna Sargisian from Webster against Harshit Raja from Mizzou. And we have 2 more Grandmasters from Mizzou, Antipov and Chris Repka to play. And so there's going to be those 2 matches, and then the winner of those 2 matches will play each other, and the winner of that match will play against Rui Feng in the losers finals. And then the winner of the losers finals will play in the grand finals against Oparin. So yeah,
All right.
and that's all going to be next week on Saturday. So I believe we will definitely be streaming that again. But tomorrow we have the U.S. College Rapid Championship, which starts at 9 a.m. Pacific. The deadline to register for that is 9 p.m. tonight. So be sure to check that out. Let me share a link to that. But yeah, that's it for today. Unfortunate for Rui Feng, your friend could not convert after winning the first game, but huge credit to Oparin. Really well played to bring it back and to ultimately win it and get to the grand finals.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely should have closed the deal. Like in that the game he had White, he was definitely winning at some point. So yeah, it happens. Can you bring up the participants? Because I see UTD's Julio said he has a big squad for tomorrow.
We don't have a finalized list for the Rapid Championship tomorrow, unfortunately, but it's going to be finalized tonight after the deadline, which again is 9 p.m. Pacific. Yep. So we're still getting registrations in, so that list is not finalized yet. Also, Nick's saying it's not Julio.
Oh, it's not Julio. Okay.
He says it's probably someone else, but yeah. Anyways, we will have that announced on our Discord. So if you guys want to keep an eye on the Rapid Championship as well as the rest of the CCL finals, definitely join the Discord. That's where we make all of our announcements and keep up to date. But yeah, exciting times coming up with the Rapid and Blitz Championships as well as the Collegiate Chess League finals next week. So really looking forward to covering that and to see who's going to win Division 1. Is it going to be Oparin? Is he going to hold on? Or is it going to be a challenger from the losers bracket, either Rui Feng or maybe one of Oparin's teammates? Who knows? But yeah, thank you so much, Jeffrey. Really appreciate it. I know you're busy and you're playing SEC. And when's your next SEC match?
It's going to be tomorrow at noon, same start time. So noon or 10 a.m. Pacific, noon for me.
Awesome. And do you know if you're going to stream it yet or not, or are you still deciding?
I'm very likely going to, as long as they tell me it's okay, which I think it is. So it might be a bit different, though, because I'll have to have a third computer behind me. But other than that, it should be fine.
That makes sense. A third computer, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, good luck in that tomorrow, and congrats again today on qualifying. So that's really exciting. And again, really appreciate you joining. But with that, we're done. I'm going to let you go. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, for following, for subbing, and especially to Tim for the gifted subs. Really appreciate that. Stick around for tomorrow. We've got both the U.S. Rapid Championship as well as Jeffrey's Speed Chess Championship. So try to keep an eye on both if you can. And yeah, good luck tomorrow, Jeffrey. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, happy to come on anytime.
All right. Take care, everyone.